All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the completely wild, fast-paced journey of a gamer who is literally forced to survive inside his own customized digital nightmare. We are breaking down an absolutely gripping story of survival, strategy, and claiming absolute power. So you might want to get comfortable, because we're going on a serious ride from absolute zero to absolute conqueror. So, picture this. Imagine waking up inside your all-time favorite VR game, a totally brutal world known as Night Saga. But instead of getting a nice, safe character selection screen where you can build your dream hero from scratch, you're thrust directly into a body that is already marked for death. No way out, right? That's exactly the horrifying reality our protagonist faces. There's no logout button, no do-overs. It is just sheer survival.
Section 1. The Weakest Demon Prince.
Okay, so our guy quickly discovers he hasn't just spawned just anywhere. He is trapped in the body of Shutra, the 14-year-old ninth prince of the demon realm, and Shutra is famously known as the absolute weakest of the royal bloodline. I mean, he's treated like a ghost by literally everyone around him. When he opens his status window, the reality really sets in. His stats are pathetically low. We're talking level 1 with base stats of just 5 across the board. To put that in perspective, even basic run-of-the-mill NPCs start at 10. But he does have a massive trump card. Instead of your standard magic or swordsmanship, he possesses two wildly overpowered hidden classes, Protagonist and Knight of Conquest. And let me tell you, these invisible classes, they're about to change the whole shebang. Now, having hidden classes doesn't mean he can just kick back and relax. It's currently year 512 in the game. And since Shutra knows the game's lore like the back of his hand, he knows that in exactly 5 years, in year 517, a forced game event triggers called the Day of the Massacre. Basically, his older brother Zephyr is going to slaughter the entire family to claim the throne. So Shutra has exactly 5 years to level up and literally rewrite history, or it's game over for good.
Section 2. Awakening the Conquest Power.
Before Shutra can even fully process this new nightmare, he's thrown straight into a brutal rebellion against the Red Thunder Orcs. With zero tutorial and literally no weapons he can actually wield, he's pushed to the absolute brink. While watching his loyal orc guard, Karak, get totally overwhelmed, Shutra finally taps into that hidden class. He casts a golden buff called Under the King's Banner, which instantly floods the battlefield. This glowing aura wraps around his troops, turning them into unstoppable juggernauts. It instantly turns the tide of the battle and proves one absolutely crucial point. Shutra's true power lies in ruling, not just swinging a sword.
And here's where it gets really crazy. He discovers just how broken his protagonist body actually is. He has this insane mechanic where he can permanently learn high-level skills simply by experiencing them firsthand. Like, get hit by a telekinesis attack? Boom, he learns it. Take an aura-infused punch from his brother? He learns aura. He even deciphers a totally dead dwarven language just by looking at it. His growth potential is for sure virtually limitless.
Section 3. Unexpected Sibling Alliances.
So Shutra realizes pretty quickly that surviving this Day of the Massacre means he cannot be a lone wolf. Using his meta-knowledge of the game, he starts forging these really crucial alliances with his incredibly powerful older siblings, shifting them from cold rivals into fiercely protective allies. But of course, these alliances immediately put a target on his back. During a high-stakes mission through a hidden dwarven portal, his older sister Felicia gets captured. This forces our weak prince into a deadly rescue operation where he ends up face-to-face with a massive mutated blood ogre. So how does a low-level prince survive that? Well, he gets creative. This fight completely showcases his insane growth under pressure. I mean, he goes into this as a level 1 noob, right? But by combining his newly acquired fire magic with his conquest aura, he empowers his guard Karak to deliver this crushing final blow. He successfully rescues Felicia, earns her undying loyalty, and rockets all the way up to level 10, unlocking even more hidden passive skills along the way.
Section 4. Claiming the Legendary Relics.
Now, to truly turn the tide against the main enemy forces, Felicia leads Shutra to an ancient ruin to find a mythical dwarven artifact known as the Anvil that gives birth to thunder. But as you know, powerful relics in video games are never just lying around for the taking. They require a trial. Shutra has to channel his magic into an ancient disc, which plunges his mind straight into a terrifying vision of the Earth Dragon Enku. He has to endure this brutal physical and mental trial, his body racked by dark purple energy, just to prove his sheer willpower is strong enough to claim the dragon's legacy.
And this is where he fully embraces the ruthless meaning of his unique class. To conquer is to dominate, and to dominate is to rule. Shutra absolutely refuses to yield to the ancient magic. He subdues the trial through sheer dominance and successfully claims the Thunderhammer.
The sheer scale of his new power is just staggering. Equipped with the Thunderhammer and later discovering the legendary Earthshaker Gauntlet in a hidden vault, he gets these massive stat boosts. During a catastrophic ambush, he uses his new beast mastery to literally brainwash the enemy's own giant swamp mammoth. He just turns it right against the red orcs and secures a massive victory for the demon realm, a real game changer.
Section 5. Earning the King's Acknowledgement.
Riding high on this victory, Shutra and his siblings return to the Demon King's castle. And for the very first time, our protagonist comes face to face with his terrifying father, Demon King Mitra. We're talking about the most dangerous being in this entire world. During the royal audience, the king just unleashes this suffocating, terrifying aura over the entire throne room to test his children. The pressure is meant to force total submission from everyone. But Shutra, guided by his conquest power, he flat out refuses to bow. He looks his terrifying father right in the eye. He directly counters the Demon King's pressure, erupting in his own golden conquest power and driving back the crushing aura. It shocks the entire royal court to their absolute core. By holding his ground against the strongest being alive, Shutra earns the king's direct, public praise. This is a super rare event that instantly elevates his status from a forgotten 14-year-old weakling to a legitimate contender for the throne.
Section 6. The Barbarian Invasion Climax.
But of course, there's no time to rest on his laurels. Out of nowhere, a massive, premature invasion led by the barbarian king Karatus threatens to completely wipe out the northern border strongholds. The timeline is shifted. A crisis that wasn't supposed to happen for years is suddenly happening right now. Shutra knows he needs more power and he needs it fast. So he travels to the sacred Green Wind Temple, absorbs the remnant power of an elder dragon's heart, and completely transforms his physical body with dragon blood and poison immunity. Crucially though, he unlocks a new skill called King's Knights, which allows him to summon loyal spirit warriors right to his side.
With the northern strongholds on the verge of total collapse and his prized recruit General Vandal about to be executed, Shutra finally makes his move. Utilizing his new Wind Spirit companion, he executes a massive, high-level spell. A giant emerald vortex lifts his entire army and miraculously teleports them all across the map, slamming into the battlefield just in the nick of time to save Vandal from total annihilation. But as you can guess, arriving is only half the battle. Shutra's exhausted demon army is suddenly staring down a massive, completely frenzied barbarian horde. Shutra quickly scans the battlefield and realizes the enemy isn't just naturally strong, they are being unnaturally buffed by a magical crimson flag, planted deep, deep inside the barbarian camp.
Refusing to lose here, and knowing his army cannot withstand an endlessly buffed horde, our newly leveled up protagonist makes a massive gamble. Actually, it's more like a suicide mission. He rallies his remaining strength, channels his dragon blood and conquest aura, and charges directly into the deadly heart of the enemy horde just to destroy that flag.
Which leaves us with one massive, lingering question. Can Shutra shatter the crimson flag before the barbarian king slaughters them all? Will his unique blend of meta-knowledge, stolen skills, and unyielding conquest power be enough to cement his legacy as the ultimate zero-to-hero? Or has he finally bitten off way more than his level 15 stats can chew? It is a fascinating cliffhanger that forces us to question just how far willpower and a totally broken status window can really take you. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and always keep questioning the mechanics of the worlds you dive into. Catch you next time.